Hello guys, welcome to today's lesson. My name is Srinidhi. I'm an educator on Unacademy. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy learning app on your phone and kindly check out the YouTube channel as well. So in today's lesson, just like previous lessons, we're going to learn a few difficult words from the Hindi newspaper. I will give you its synonyms and its meanings and also the usage of that word in the form of a sentence. So here we go.
Hey guys, so this is lesson 9 under the course Daily Hindu Analysis part 3. So the date of the newspaper is mentioned right here. So these words are from the 26th March newspaper. So this lesson and the following lesson will be from the same newspaper. So let's get started with the words. The first one is paradise. Paradise. Okay. So paradise is a noun. That means a wonderful place where people go after they die if they have done good deeds. Alright, so that means we all know what a paradise is. So if you do good in your life, you go to paradise. If you do bad in your life, you go to hell. So there is a if clause. That means if you do bad, you don't go to paradise. That's it. Synonyms. Heaven is a basic, it's the most commonly used word. Promised land according to Christianity and Happy Valley according to Islamism. So here. Example, every single man who dies wishes to go to paradise. So here man is neuter gender is what I've made. So it's like, it's both men and women. So anybody who dies would love to go to paradise after death. So that's what everybody keeps doing all their life, right? Do this, you go to heaven, do that, you go to heaven. So the ultimate goal of everybody is to go to heaven according to people. So the second word is regime. So regime is a noun. That means the way that something such as an institution, company or an economy is run when it involves tough action. So when you are in a place where you'll have to take tough actions or decisions, the ways an institution, a company or economy is run by people is called a regime. Okay, so something very strict, very tough. Okay, all right. So synonyms, governmental rules. So the regime of so and so authoritative dictators have proved fatal to many innocent lives. So we've read a lot about them. So example, the authorities moved the leaders to the less rigid regime. So the leaders were moved by the authorities into a very not very rigid but a less rigid regime. So regime itself is very severe, very tough, but to moving it to a lesser version of the strong regime. Okay. Third one is vintage. So vintage is an adjective. That means vintage cars or aeroplanes are old but are admired because they are considered to be the best of their kind. So something that's very ancient, something that's very old, so that is no more in production, so hardly a few people have it around the world, so that makes it very unique and very special. So vintage cars and vintage airplanes, vintage bikes and vintage anything has been admired by people all over the world, and there are so many people who would pay crores together to possess a vintage car or a vintage bike or a vintage pen, no matter what, anything that is old and the best of its kind and it is no more available, so openly in the market or so abundantly in the market, rather put, is very special. All right, there is a second meaning to the vintage. That means vintage wine is good quality wine that has been stored for several years to improve its qualities. So that means a wine which has been stored for years together so that it ages. So there is a saying that, the older the wine, the better it tastes, or the better quality that is. So those kind of wines are called vintage wines. Okay. Now, so I have synonyms, classic, old, two examples. So one is for the vintage cars, one is for the vintage wines. Okay. So the museum will have a permanent exhibition of a few vintage cars. That means a few vintage cars will be held as an exposition by the museum. Next one. The vintage bottle of wine is expensive but worth the money one pays. So vintage wine bottle is the age-old wine is expensive. It's damn expensive, but so wine lovers would say that it is worth the money that one pays for it. Okay. Next one is putrefy. Putrefy. That's a verb which means to decay and produce a very bad smell or odor. So something, when it is rotten, it emits a very, very bad smell, a pungent smell. Not so that's called to putrefy. Synonyms: rot, corrupt. So rot is for dead things, so something that's dead, something that's rotting away, and corrupt is for systems. Okay, so yes, that's very metaphorically used. Example: the meat in all of the open containers has putrefied. That means the meat in all of the open containers, those containers were not closed, they were not frozen, or they were not kept in good condition, as a result of which the meat has rotten and it is starting to emit a very, very bad smell. Okay, next one, fatal. Fatal again is an adjective. That means something that has severe consequences or effects. So severe that it can prove fatal. That means it can be near death experiences kind of stuff. So fatal is deadly. Okay, so synonyms: deadly, lethal. Lethal, fatal, deadly are all the same meaning. So very severe consequences or very severe effects that can cost a person's life. Example: the political leader died due to a fatal heart attack. That means a very severe heart attack proved fatal. That means it killed him. It was deadly, and due to which the political leader died. The political leader died due to a fatal heart attack. Okay, next one, indigenous. Indigenous is an adjective that means people or things belong to the country in which they are found, rather than coming there or being brought from another country. So people or things which are basically from that country, or people who belong to that country, or things that are found in that country, rather than people who've come from outside and settled there, or the things that are brought from other countries. Okay, something that is very original, something that's very native. Synonyms: native, original. Okay, every one of us, though we've been settled in different cities, we might belong to some other country or some other city. So yes, so those people who belong to the same city are called indigenous people. Okay, example: the statistics show that the population of animals that are indigenous to Asia is on the rise. That means the statistics shows that the population of animals which are originally from Asia or which belong to Asia, that is indigenous to Asia, is on the rise. That means the population of the animals is on the rise. That means it's increasing. Alright, so before we start off with the proverb for the day, I will give you guys the pronunciation of the words once again. First one is paradise, that is nothing but heaven. Next one is regime, a very, very tough rule or action, or how an economy takes place when there are severe circumstances. Next one is vintage. One is old cars, bikes and other age-old objects. Second one is wines which have been aged for years together to improve its qualities. Next one is putrified, that means something that is decaying and producing a very, very bad smell. Fifth one is fatal, which is deadly, lethal, which could cost one's life. Okay. Next one is indigenous, that means things or people who are from that specific place, who are natives, who are whose origin is from that specific place. All right. So yes, so let's move on to the proverb of the day. So the previous lesson is suggested this proverb, which means two heads are better than one. That means two heads. When you have two people to think about one specific situation, the results are always better. So when you sit and think about one specific problem alone, you might get confused, you might spend a lot of time, you might get depressed, you might just end up giving up, coming up with a solution for that specific problem. But when you do it with another person, say for example a person who's very close to you and also related to the same problem, it actually helps in coming up with better results and better efficiency, and also you save time. And it is always good to work with a team rather alone. So there are people who love to work alone, but working in a team improves social skills and many other qualities in a person. Alright, so two heads are better than one means, so two people have two different types of thinking. So when you put them together, obviously your work is going to be better. So that's what this proverb means. Example, it is always better to involve one's life partner in dire situations, since two heads are better than one. So when you're having a very severe problem or a very critical problem in your life, it's better to involve another person who is also involved in it. So because there are it's always better to have a second opinion. It's always better to work with somebody to have a better result, to have a better solution, to have a better future. Okay, so the proverb that I would suggest for this lesson is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. I'll repeat, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. So if you know the answer, please let me know in the comment section. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. If you guys have any doubts, please notify me on the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Bye bye.